Oh, got it.
All right, everybody. We just got a couple minutes. We got about a minute and a half. This is your friendly technical support.
Technical support.
Okay. All right, good. You can hear me. Nicole.
Yes, I can hear you.
You got me loud and clear. Okay. I want to try something real quick with our video. I think I fixed the problem. All right. Let me know.
Organizations who you may be a member of.
Definitely can hear it well,
The
Eric.
purpose of a main motion is business.
Fantastic. All right. Well, it's great. Go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Get the agenda for you.
Well, I guess while you're getting the agenda, I want to say good morning. Good morning, Chris. How are you today?
You should see it. You don't see the agenda?
I don't see it. I got tech support up here.
Oh, no.
Let's see.
You see the timer?
I don't see anything. All I have is my tech support screen.
You should be able to see the screen.
Uh-oh. Let's see.
Oh, no. Does anybody else not see the agenda? Does anyone see the agenda? Anyone else in the meeting?
All I see is Chris in the meeting. Chris Day is in the meeting. I did see Tom on, let's see.
But you should see the screen. You should see my screen.
Yeah, no, I only see tech support. All I got is switch to share, no, recording. No, I just got tech support.
I see the screen.
Oh, Kathy, good morning. Good afternoon.
Well, yeah, it feels like morning to me.
So Kathy, do you see the agenda on the screen?
Yes.
And do you see the timer on the screen, a little clock?
Well, a digital 131 and
Yeah.
also, yeah.
Okay, now you see the agenda.
But I don't see it, Eric. I only got tech support on my screen.
Oh.
Let's see. I'm viewing your screen. Exactly what. Oh, no.
Kathy, do you see a little video on screen called Robert's Rules?
Well, mine is the phone, so let me stretch it out. I see some people sitting, basics.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, Nicole, I'm going to have to help you.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so what I'll do, I'll just read different things from the agenda, and then you just run it from there. So the purpose of the Justice Coalition, first of all, we'd like to thank Brother Cody Mazzerella for letting us use his premium Zoom account. We have a term we use called Revolutionary Unionism. It was inspired by the industrial workers of the world. It is to take power from our employer and the politicians through direct action at work and democratically control our unions. By doing so, we can dismantle the service and transactional model of business unionism, which has neutralized our power for over 50 years. Nicole, we have introductions now.
Eric, I can see the screen now. I don't know what happened. It magically appeared.
Oh, good. Phew.
Right.
I can go on mute now. All right.
Right.
You got it.
So we're gonna start with I want you to put the video up because that'll be next. Rob, we're gonna start with our class. Did I say good afternoon? I think I said good morning, but let's change that to afternoon because I'm still on yesterday's time. So we're gonna start our meeting, or we're gonna start our class. And this is gonna be our teaching lesson today. And it's a little short video, so let's look at it, guys, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, Eric, play it for me.
The Parliamentary Procedure was created to keep organizations running in a smooth and efficient manner. Parliamentary procedure is defined as a code of ethics to be followed by individuals in a group to conduct business or meetings. Parliamentary procedure is unique to the democratic process. To learn parliamentary procedure is to learn democracy, allowing majority rule while giving the minority their say. We hope that this video will enable you to be involved in the decisions of your club and other organizations who you may be a member of. The guide most commonly associated with parliamentary procedure is Robert's Rules of Order. Before an organized meeting can occur, there should be an agenda. An agenda is the order of business for a specific meeting. The agenda should include the following: call to order, roll call, minutes, treasurer's report, committee reports including standing committees and special committees, unfinished business, new business, and adjournment. Call to order is done by the president to bring the meeting to order. Roll calls are used to determine quorums, which should be at least 51% of members present, and majorities by those attending the meetings. Minutes are the recorded transactions by the secretary from the previous meeting. Minutes are usually distributed electronically prior to the meeting to save the time of reading them out loud. The president will call for the approval of the previous meeting's minutes before continuing the meeting. Treasurer's reports are given by the treasurer. These reports are of the financial transactions of the club since the previous meeting. This information requires no vote and is for information only. Unfinished business is business which was not completed at the last regular meeting. New business is exactly that. New business put before the group for their attention and vote. Usually, new business should be on the agenda. However, any member may bring up any new business if recognized by the chair. To adjourn is to formally end the meeting. The main motion. The purpose of a main motion is to introduce business to the group. A main motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Debatable means the motion can be discussed, pro and con. Amendable means the motion can be changed. Majority means more than half of the votes cast.
What is the first item of business?
Mr. President,
Yes, Yvonne.
I move that we participate in getting pizza for lunch during our next meeting.
A second is required for a main motion to show that another person wishes the motion to be considered.
I second that motion.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we participate in getting pizza for lunch during our next fellows meeting. Is there any discussion?
The president will ask for debate or discussion once the motion has been properly moved and seconded. An individual wishing to discuss a motion must gain recognition from the chair.
President,
Yes, Glennis.
I'm in favor of this motion because we can get the pizza in 30 minutes.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Logan.
I oppose this motion because pizza is full of carbs.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, we should have a vote. So all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
When asking for the opposition, the president may ask for a negative response, such as no or nay, in the event of an on-voice vote. However, on a show of hands, the president may ask for the same sign.
Nay.
The ayes have it. The motion carries. We will participate in pizza for lunch.
Now let's add another step. We're going to amend the main motion. An amendment is used to modify the main motion. First, you must have a main motion so that there is something to amend. A second is required for an amendment to show that another member wishes the motion to be considered. Amendments are also debatable, amendable, and require a majority vote.
What is the first item of business?
Mr. President,
Yes, Yvonne.
I move that we participate in getting pizza for lunch during our next fellows meeting.
I second that motion.
It has been properly moved and seconded that we get pizza for lunch.
During discussion or debate of the main motion, an amendment may be proposed.
Mr. President,
Yes, Your Honor.
I move to amend the main motion by adding words from Mr. Caesar.
I second that amendment.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we amend the main motion by inserting the words "from Little Caesars." Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Logan.
I'm strongly opposed to this amendment because I think Little Caesars is garbage pizza and Papa John's is far superior.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Glennis.
we have to get Little Caesars because it's very cheap.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we should have a vote on the amendment to the main motion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
The motion carries. The motion currently on the floor is to get Little Caesars for lunch during our next fellows meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we should have a vote. All those in favor of the amended main motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. We shall get Little Caesars for lunch.
Once an amendment passes, it becomes part of the main motion. The main motion has been modified. You have learned about a main motion and amending a main motion. In some cases, it may be necessary to delay action on an item of business until more information can be gathered. There are two ways to do this. The first is to lay on the table, to postpone taking any action until a later time. This motion requires a second and a majority vote. The motion to lay on the table is not amendable or debatable.
Is there any new business?
Mr. President,
Yes, Yvonne.
I move that we participate in getting pizza for lunch during our next fellows meeting.
I second that motion.
It has been properly moved and seconded that we get pizza for lunch. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Logan.
since Vincent loves pizza a lot, I move to table the motion that we get pizza for lunch until he is present to provide additional input.
A second is required to table the motion.
I second to table that motion.
Now that it's been properly moved and seconded that we table that motion to participate in getting pizza for lunch, we should take a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. This motion has been tabled. Is there any further new business?
Before a motion could be taken from the table, another item of business must be transacted.
Mr. President,
Yes, Yvonne.
I move that we change our meeting location to room 105 next month.
Now, do you recognize this as a main motion? It is.
I second that motion.
It has been properly moved and seconded that we change our meeting place next month to room 105. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Logan.
we should move our meeting place because this room will be available next month.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we should take a vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. We will hold our next meeting in room 105. Is there any more new business?
Mr. President,
Yes, Glennis.
since Vincent just walked in the door, I move to take from the table the motion to get pizza for lunch.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Now that it's been properly moved and seconded that we take from the table the motion to get pizza for lunch, we should vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. The motion currently on the floor is to get pizza for lunch. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Vincent.
I vote we get pizza for lunch because it's very economical.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, it's time to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. We will get pizza for lunch. Is there any more new business?
To adjourn is to formally end the meeting. The motion to adjourn requires a second, is not debatable, and is not amendable. Adjourning a meeting requires a majority vote.
Mr. President,
Yes, Ilana.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
I second that motion.
Now that it's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting, we should take a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.
The motions presented in this video are the most common motions in parliamentary procedure. They provide a foundation on which parliamentary procedure skills may be built. For further information, we recommend reviewing some of the documents Dr. Linger made. Thank you.
Hello, guys. Hello. What is going on?
Hello, Nicole.
Oh, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So I was saying, so in our meetings, the meetings doesn't go like this. So anybody have anything they want to say before I give my perspective on it?
Our meeting at 2:41 was illegally adjourned by Keith Hill. There was no vote. And he adjourned the meeting because he wanted to avoid a strike vote that would take place under new business. It was only one question asked. And then the second question, he adjourned the meeting without a vote. He said that Roger Love and Clarence Covington made the motion to adjourn, and it was seconded by one of those guys, but it was never a vote by the membership, and that was it. And then a chaos started with the warden and other member and things of that nature, because the members was adamant about the meeting should not have been adjourned.
Right. So the reason why I chose this video, because these participants was just really calm. Our meetings doesn't go like this, more like intense. Everybody's on edge or whatever. But this is how a meeting's supposed to go. It's supposed to be some type of order, and I believe that the chair should keep the order. And the chair, and I've never been to a 308 meeting, but in 241 meetings, they are chaotic. So I think they're setting us up to fail. They don't want us to be at the meetings. They don't want us to have a meeting. But Robert Rules of Order is so good to understand so that we can prevent these type of things from happening. I don't really know how we just got to keep on learning how we can control the meeting where it goes as it should, because I think it's against us right now. Andre, you have something?
Yeah, another thing that is happening with our meetings, all the members pay union dues. Part of that dues was supposed to cover parking for the members, and we had parking under Sam because he understood that we supposed to have parking. Keith canceled the parking. Now we don't have parking. When you don't have parking at a meeting and you downtown, close to downtown, that turns the members off from even want to attend the meeting. So I'm agree with you, Nicole. The chair is derailing the meeting on purpose.
So what do you think we can do to kind of keep our meeting accordingly, or try to have some type of order since the chair is against us?
Well, we can continue to do the Robert Rules of Order. That last one he did with the adjournment, we're gonna have to just write Costa on that and bring him up on charges with the Labor Relations Board. And as far as the parking, I brought it up to him twice. He didn't brush it off. He's like, okay, I'm gonna work on it. And then that was it, but every month keep going by and by. So we got to keep pushing for parking, or we're gonna have to keep paying at the parking meters, which don't make no sense. So we have to keep, really, they supposed to rent a hall like we used to do, because they just want to be lazy and want to stay at 1613 so they won't have to move nowhere. But if you don't have a parking spot available for the members, then you really just have to rent out a hall for the members so they can park. When we rent the hall on 47, it was all about renting the hall with parking.
Right.
For
Okay. Cole, I see your hand, but give me 1 minute. You're going to be next. I just want to pose a question because we have a guest, Chris Day. He's from Local 757. I want to ask him how did they meeting go, and then I'll let you go. Okay, Cole? So Chris, can you give us a little information about you guys meeting? Chris? Chris, can you hear me? Unmute yourself. No. Chris, can you unmute yourself? I think you're ready. Chris? No. Well, okay, we'll let Cole go and see if we can get Chris in. Cole, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I agree with Andre. There needs to be some sort of parking. One of the biggest issues that I hear from people at my garage up at the Glen is that there's no parking for them if they do want to go. And it's an excuse they give themselves too. Oh, well, I'm not going to go. There's nowhere to park, you know? So I know that I think it was at True Rock Ministries, we had parking. Maybe we can reestablish something with them by a motion at the union meeting. So the money is being taken care of by the, paying for it is being taken care of by the union. I don't know how much it would cost. I'm also interested to see where they park. Because on Tuesday night, we got to see Keith come out of a different parking lot, with his truck that was just vandalized, according to him.
Allegedly.
So I was interested to see that he was coming out of a completely different lot. And how come we can't park there? Wherever you park,
That is true. That is true.
But
go ahead.
So there's that. With what they pulled on Tuesday in regards to the way that they did the adjournment, it was all wrong. Keith was supposed to state, first off, he was supposed to keep order. Okay, he wasn't keeping order. He allowed that to happen so he could allow Roger Love to make, they were texting back and forth. They were on their phones. That's completely inappropriate. They were on their phones back and forth during the meeting. Roger Love made this motion to adjourn, which we didn't hear at all. Keith didn't state the motion, which he's supposed to do. And he just asked for ayes and noes. And once he counted the voices, or however he did it in his head, then he just said the ayes had it. And that was it. The meeting was adjourned. And what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to state, all right, there's order. There's a motion on the floor for adjournment. How do we vote? So everybody can hear. And then once we get to the end of the vote, he's supposed to say, the meeting's adjourned and there's supposed to be a pause so someone can call for a division of assembly in case anybody wants to see how people voted by hand instead of just voice. And then even if we do get to be adjourned, then if someone does have business that they want to take up, they could appeal to the chair, and the chair could reopen up the meeting and we could take care of that person's business. He didn't do any of that. He just wanted to get out of that meeting hall as soon as possible because he didn't want us to make any of our motions. That's an opinion of mine, but I believe that's the truth. Or else why would you try and get out of there so quickly?
Yeah, he did. And I see, Tom, I see your hand and I see Andre and Kathy hand, but I think Chris can speak now. So I'm just a little bit curious about how they meetings go. Then I'll call on you guys. Chris, unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me now?
We can, thank you.
There we go. Yeah, it sounds like our local has the same issues as you guys. The meetings are chaotic, not in order. They're not following our Constitution 13.16, the order of business. They're not presenting all the information that's required by 13.16. So that's why you guys caught my attention so much, and I figured I'd sit in and learn some from your guys' side.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, we're having those same problems over here at 241 and 308. Maybe they all getting together saying this is what we're gonna do to our locals. I don't know. But yeah, we having these problems and not going by the rules. Yeah, this is terrible. This is unheard of. Tom, let's hear what you have to say. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
To answer Cole's question about the officers parking, I do believe when they bought that building, they got a few spots that they bought also down there. Maybe Andre could backtrack on that.
Okay.
Yeah, they got 7 parks, 4 in the back and 3 on the side, where the gates at, where there's parking lot at, and the officers park in the back, and then the secretaries park on the side and the gate over there on the side at the end. And far as parking, that's part of the Constitution. That's why when Tom was in, he made sure that we had parking. If we couldn't get parking, then we would rent that place on 47. We did that for a while.
Constitution?
Huh?
You said it's
Yeah,
part of the
parking is part of the what you should have.
Then maybe we could go after him about that.
You can. That's why he can't avoid it.
Yeah.
He's supposed to provide parking. That's why we don't have to go at him. We just let him know you're supposed to provide parking. We no fight about it because Keith, that's why when I asked him the 2 times, he said he's working on it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Guys, Chris has something to say. Kathy, I see your hand. Chris has something. Unmute yourself, Chris.
Just a quick question. If we're referencing something from the Constitution, would it be helpful if we give reference to where it's actually saying it on the Constitution instead of just saying it's in the Constitution?
Yeah, Andre, where does it say? What section does it say?
I don't have the Constitution on me. I have to go through it to find it, but I'm
we're gonna
pretty
pull up
sure
on
it's
the
in there
screen.
somewhere. But I'll find it and let you know, guys.
I'd like to see it.
Chris, we're gonna pull it up on the screen and we're gonna look for it because we have all that on our website. So we're gonna look at the bylaws and we'll pull it up. And it'll be up there in 1 second. Go ahead, Chris. Unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. So I'm just pointing out there is a difference between bylaws and constitutions. So to avoid confusion, that's something else to be aware of.
Okay, so Eric, he's looking to see exactly what, and then he's trying to find it, either it's the bylaws or the competition. He's gonna put it up on the screen and see which one provides the best answer. So that's how we're gonna get to it, and then we're gonna correct it and give the right answer.
So
Thank you.
just to let y'all know, I did a search in the 241 bylaws, in the 241 local 241 bylaws, and there is on page section, section what is this? Sorry.
Take your time, brother.
Section 24, the only mention of parking, stupid thing, is on section 24, subparagraph K.
This is the bylaws, Eric, just to.
Local 241 bylaws, yeah.
241 bylaws. I want to be clear, so when we reference
It's
this
called
answer-
reimbursement. So y'all should look at that on your own time. I'm not quite sure it's relevant to the meeting though. The expenses have to be approved by the membership. So that's all that's in the local 241 bylaws regarding parking, the word.
Well, it should be in the Constitution. You think you can find it in the tech guy?
Yeah.
Somewhere? Okay. Let the tech guy work on that.
Well, while he's working on that, let's hear from Kathy. Kathy,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Oh, that's okay. Thank you. Well, I just wanted to agree with what Nicole said at the beginning about how the union officials don't want us to have a meeting, a good meeting where we can make some plans. That's 241 and 30. And I just really think we would agree that the union officials are motivated to keeping the members from our power. They want to keep us from having power, and they use the chair and Robert's Rules of Orders against us. So they got the power right now. And we've said this before at these meetings, and we've been saying it for decades. We need to get more people to come to the meetings, and then we can tip the balance of power in the favor of the workers. But even then, and I've seen videos, I've never been at a meeting like that, but sometimes the union officials will adjourn the meeting even though everybody wants to stay, and they'll run out. And so, you know, when that happens, then people have to take over the meeting. But anyway, we're a ways from there. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, Andre.
Just a quick point of order here. The point of information. There is nothing in the Constitution regarding the word parking. So just to let you know, the only thing is parking reimbursements in the bylaws and nothing about parking in the Constitution. Doesn't mean it's not there, maybe under a different word or description, but everyone should do their research on their own so we don't blow the meeting time.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Andre. Hold on 1 second. Let's hear what Chris has to say. Then I'll go right to you, okay? Because he don't. Okay, Chris, unmute yourself.
Gotcha. And I was just wanting to point out from what I read that was shown there in the bylaws, it's only for the officers as well. There's nothing about membership parking.
Okay, well, if it's not written, it's a past practice because we have always had parking when we had our halls. It was always parking available for the members. So maybe it's a past practice because when I do ask it when I ask Keith about it, he don't say, no, we don't have to provide parking for you guys. He don't say things like that. He say, I'm working on it.
He did say that.
And past practice have always given us parking from since I've been working here 30 years. We have always had parking at the union meetings. I just want to make a statement about the union meetings that's happening now. The members have to understand that the union officers are stacking the deck against the members. Even in the past, when I used to go to 308 meetings, they would have their favorite people make sure that whatever goes on goes their way along with the officers. What's happening at 241 meeting, Keith just have the officers, and he had that maybe one or two member that's on the payroll, like Brother Pierce, this assistant to Toy, you know, he's assisting them whenever they want to do whatever they want to do. So it's important, and they really didn't have the numbers this time. That's why Keith panicked and canceled our meeting, because we actually had the numbers. The stack that he had wasn't overwhelming to the stack that we had as members. So he did what he had to do to make sure that we couldn't get our rights protected. That's it.
That is true. And that's the problem that we're having. And, you know, even we can't get the international president to, you know, hold them accountable, which I find that very sad. You know, we write him all these emails and we make him aware of what's going on, and we don't get anybody who can stand up and make this correct for the members. In my opinion, our money is not being valued. They think they can just take our money and do what they want. It's so unfair when they have certain things in place like Robert Rules of Order, as such should. But our presidents are just saying, no, we are in control. We do what we want to do. And that's not right, because they spend our money without our permission. They just do everything to us. Cole, unmute yourself. Cole.
All right, I'm here. Yeah, so with piggybacking off of what Kathy was saying, you know, we need to get more people down there. You know, we all agree on that. So we need to find the things, you know, what are the obstacles for people to show up? I think, you know, by discussing parking, I think that's trying to knock down one of the obstacles. I think the times, that would be a harder thing to deal with, because that would take a bylaw change to do something about the times of the meetings. The days that it's on, that would be another bylaw change. The fact that it's only on a Tuesday. But these are things that we could make happen. I mean, just because we have to change the bylaws doesn't mean it can't happen. But these will be things that will take a little bit more time and effort. Yeah, so yeah, I think that would trying to ask people, all right, well, you want to go to the meeting, well, why don't you? What are the obstacles keeping you from there? The fact that it is an in-person meeting and it's not over Zoom or a virtual meeting. maybe trying to get something established for that, because in Robert's Rules of Order, there's rules for online meetings too. So I mean, we could have online meetings or at least record it. I mean, they don't even allow us to record the meeting itself. So yeah, so we just need to keep on hammering away and trying to find solutions and knocking down the obstacles that they keep on putting in our way.
Yes.
Tech support here. So for you local 308 members, check your bylaws at chicagotransitworker.com, know your rights. Local 241, same thing. Then I have them on screen. Local 308, section 29 tells you how to amend bylaws. Local 241, it's section 41, or sorry, section 40 and subparagraph A. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I just, one thing I want to say about the meetings is that we're definitely strength in numbers, as we see from the last meeting. We definitely had control of the meeting. We lost it because Keith knew we had control and he adjourned our meeting illegally. So as many members as we can get to these union meetings, 308 too, it goes the same way. If we can get members to come, we are the majority. We should be able to run our meetings accordingly. Tom, unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, I want to comment on that joint membership meeting we had. They were sitting up there like deers in headlights. That's why I think we should try to merge the two locals into one. But they got scared.
They definitely were scared. They wasn't expecting real questions, and they couldn't even answer. Mark, now I will commend Mark Reese. He tried his best to answer all our questions, but he wasn't ready for the questions that the members asked him because they're not used to us asking questions. They're used to us believing whatever they're saying. So you're right about that, Tom.
Well, I mean, what's the point of having two different locals? It's the same contract. We need to see what kind of process needs to be started to start that.
Well, you know, they want to say that it's two different locals. They won't say that it's the same contract. That's why their presentation was 308. And that's why I asked them, well, some of the language you're using in this 308 TA is not in 241. So then 241 needs to do that their own presentation. They say, no, it's not the same. And that's the problem that we have with the TA. But I don't want to get past ourselves. I want to stay with this Robert Rules of Order in our union meeting. So just one thing I just keep saying, invite a friend to these meetings. We have cheat sheets. Eric, can you put that cheat sheet up for me for Robert Rules of Order? We have to know our rights because honestly, our presidents don't know Robert Rules of Order. They know a few things, but they don't know the whole thing like we're trying to get here. So we know how to control our own meetings. Andre, go ahead. Oh, Andre, yes.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me? Okay. What I was about to say is we need to continue to write CASA because the thing about writing CASA is this stuff is documented and CASA is responding. He may not respond the way you want him to respond, but he's responding. It might take a little while.
I'm sorry, Andre, he never responds to he responds to what he wants to respond with me. Personally, I've written him, several times. I think I got one response back. And I think that's unacceptable because we give him a per capita every month. It's not a little amount. Now,
well, we need to start threatening that pro capital and those emails, and we need to put it to action.
Well, I did
what's
do that
happening
this
here
time because, we have to, our money has to be valued because that's the only thing we have on them. They don't care about us. Chris, go ahead, unmute yourself. I know you got your hand up, Cole. I got you.
I was just gonna ask, before meetings start, is quorum established before the actual meeting starts?
Well, what we do, we always attend a charter meeting. Most of the members on this on this Zoom call right now, we try to attend the charter meeting because at the charter meeting, it doesn't matter about quorum. They have to have that. So they really don't establish it.
Point of information.
Mm-hmm.
So local 308 has a quorum of 25 members. So what the officials like to do, because they hate the meetings, is that if there's less than 25, they say, all right, we don't have a meeting, no quorum, and then everyone leaves. And all the people that came, the first timers, all that stuff are frustrated, all the members, because they don't get any information. You know, if you're lucky, maybe the Vice President, Mark Weems, will have something, you know, usually he has something he can share with you, but pretty much they're so happy. You never see union officers at 308 more happy than when a meeting doesn't have quorum.
Yeah, because when quorum's not met, then it just goes to the voting of the board.
Exactly.
Yeah. All the money in the business that they want, move forward.
Yeah, but with Local 241, you know, we have 4 meetings, right, Andre? We have 4 meetings, and that one 10 o'clock meeting that the charter meeting, they have to have it whether it's a quorum or not. So we kind of got a little, I'm sorry.
That's in the bylaws. They have to
Right.
have it.
So with that,
If one person show up, they have to
right, so
have
we
it.
got a little ups on that quorum setting in our charter meeting. Go ahead, Chris. I got you, Cole. You're gonna be next.
Here's the problem I'm seeing is Robert's rules is not designed for multiple meetings. When there's multiple meetings, the officers could say one thing at one meeting to get the vote the way they want at that meeting. And then a different group at the next meeting, they could say something different to get the vote that they want that way.
But it had to come back to whatever happens after the charter meeting, it had to come back to the charter meeting that next month. Just say if we vote something and then the next 3 meetings, they vote a different way, that meeting had to come back. Whatever they voted, because whatever we took place, that goes, let's say 5 took at the charter meeting and then 15 took place at the other meeting. Well, they have to come back, the 15 versus whatever happens at that next month's meeting.
Yes, I
So
understand
everything circulates around that charter meeting, far as votes and information, and anything that changes, it will come back to the next month. If we not there and they want to do something different, it comes back to the next month.
Well, I suppose what I'm getting at is when they present it differently in different meetings, we don't know how they exactly presented that to sway the vote in the way that they want.
But that's why whatever they did, it had to come back next month to the next meeting in the charter AM meeting.
And the reason why being because no one really attends our meeting, Chris. That's why we try to make it our business to attend a charter meeting, because the other 3 meetings, for one, they canceled the 2 o'clock meeting. No, they canceled the 2 o'clock meeting because they say it's for cleaning, but our members doesn't go to the meeting. So that's a problem that we're having here. So that's why it's important for us as 241 members to attend a 10 o'clock meeting, which they have to have, whether it's one person or not any. No one really comes to the 2, the 4, and the 7 o'clock. So those meetings are really exempt for us because no one really shows up. So it's not even a vote taken. And our presidents capitalize off of that. They know that's how it's going to happen. They give so much misinformation and says it's always arguments and fights at the meeting. So people really don't want to come. So that's what they do at Local 241. But
yeah, my point, I'm sorry, my point though mainly is Robert's rule is designed for one meeting, one group, so the information stays consistent. And the way our unions appear to be presenting this, they're creating their own version of Robert's rules and they're not truly following it.
I agree with you on that. That's absolutely right, because they don't even know anything about Robert's rules. Well, they know a few terms and that's it. And I agree with you. Let's have you, Cole. I'm sorry for having you.
It's all right. So there's a couple points. One, let's with the meetings, we could possibly rotate the times and the days that they occur, so that way everybody gets an opportunity to show up. If we don't do rotating, then we could fix it, to a certain day, maybe on a weekend or a certain day throughout the week. And we can also condense the amount of meetings that we have. I don't think it's a bad idea to have, a later meeting for people that do get off after, that are work at 10 a.m. But I think we should definitely have a 10 a.m. and possibly a 7 p.m. meeting, and we could rotate, throughout the week. That would be a bylaw change.
Yeah, that would be a bylaw change.
Yes. The other thing is what Tom was saying about 241 and 308. I was, you all know that I was kind of against this idea of maybe joining up the locals but I've had a change of heart because of what you all have been saying. I definitely think we need to bring 241 and 308 together because there's going to be way more of us than there are of them. And I think the reason why we're split up is because it allows for there to be more officer spots. You know, there's more parking spaces then for people. There's more perks. So I think that's part of why. And then it's also divide and conquer too. You know, we don't want this group of people to know what this other group of people are thinking.
Right.
And then the last thing is, with this past meeting on Tuesday, why Keith, you know, even though we had the numbers, why Keith Hill was able to get over on us is because simply we just didn't know the rules. We couldn't
Right.
go to him and say, hey, you were supposed to state the motion. It says it here, and such and such and such. And not only that, once the meeting is adjourned, if somebody has business, they're supposed to be able to go to you and you can reopen it. And it's at this such and such and such and such, you know? And so that's why it's important. We can have all the people there in the world, but if they don't know the rules, then it don't matter. That's why, you know, the phrase knowledge is power. If you don't know your rights, you don't have any. That's why those things are so true. So
I agree. And that's why we're trying to have these meetings and educate as many as
exactly
possible.
right. That's exactly right. And our locals should be out here teaching us. If they really wanted people out here to know about the union and to participate, they would be out here teaching us, and they're not.
Right. Let's see. Chris has something to say. Go ahead, Chris. Unmute yourself.
When you witness a clear violation of the bylaws or the Constitution, has anyone actually gone the step to file preferential charges against that individual violating our Constitution or bylaw?
That's a good question. We were talking about that. Andre, you got your hand up. You want to answer that? Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I would just want to make the statement about the merging of the locals.
What, Andre? I mean to interrupt. You want to kind of answer Chris' question and then go to yours. He wants to know.
What was Chris Quest? Oh, did somebody bring the charges against the yes, we have.
Yes.
But it's, you know, sometimes these charges, and I'm going to bring some more charges. The Illinois Department of Labor, they will accept your charges and do all the paperwork to notify everybody. But then they turn around and make you want to investigate your own stuff a lot of times. That's kind of difficult because they be wanting things that, you know, it just we don't have it at our thought process at the disposal right away. It's like we thinking that they supposed to understand. They be acting like we want you to make us understand. So that's why a lot of times the charges that I have filed didn't go through because, you know, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a labor lawyer. And then, you know, the union got labor lawyers working for them. So they kind of overwhelm me with the knowledge they have in unionism. And then the Illinois Labor Relations Board is not really helpful. They act like they're gonna take your claim, but they're not gonna fight for your claim unless it's something real clear to them. So that's what happened with the last charge, which was, I think, with Woodrow, when he was making statements about I don't supposed to have my uniform on, and they put me off the property. The labor relation agent wanted me to, well, do you have anything in writing from the company saying that you can't do this and you can't do that? It was just overwhelming. So I gave her what I could.
Okay, hold on, Andre. Chris,
But I want to make another statement.
I know. I just want to finish this and then because I think Chris is trying to get to a point about bringing up charges. So I just want to elaborate on that for a moment. Then I'm gonna let you have the floor again, Andre, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just really quick. Our Constitution provides the process of the preferential charges. It starts at 22.3, which the technician put there for us, and it's our Constitution. The Department of Labor will have nothing to do with it. These are the steps that they ask for us to go through before going to outside sources.
Okay, so We want to read that. So we got 22.3. It say the preferring of charges. Whenever any charges are preferred against any officer or member or of a local union or JC, such charges shall be in writing and shall be specific. Any such charge preferred against an officer or of an LU or JC shall be signed by at least 10 members in good standing in the local union or JC. Any such charges preferred, let's see. Got my clock on here. Let me go down. Okay. Whoever it was, why? At least 15 days before the regular meeting of the LU or JC, a copy of such charges shall be served upon the officers or member against whom such charges are filed, and the LU or JC. The LU or JC shall Eric, help me with this word, contemporaneously provide
Just
notice.
blah blah.
Okay, blah, blah.
Contemporaneously.
Right,
Contemporaneously.
Okay,
Who
great.
wrote this crap?
Right, who wrote this? Okay, provide notice to all members that such charge are to be considered at the meeting by posting the appropriate location. So, yeah, that's good. That's good to know. That's something we can look at. But you know, the only thing, this is good if our presidents respected the bylaws. They don't. We always have to go outside of our local because they don't respect us. If we try to put a charge against them, it won't even go through. They'll put it on the back burner and say, "Oh, we didn't get it." Then you have to go search, and write it. They'll just blow us off. I don't know. We can try it though. It is because we can try. Andre, go ahead.
2 points. As far as with the union meeting and the things that's happening to us, it's a lot of suggestions, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the responsibility of the members to police the union. Just like we have police out here, people going to still do crimes. So that's what's happening here. They're going to do things, and if they might get away with it, but it's our job to make sure they don't get away with it. They don't continue to do it, because they may try it again. And it's up to the members to step up. We're not going to be able to rely on the ATU. We're not going to be able to rely on the Labor Relations Board. There's two things that we got. We got ourselves as members. We got our vote, and we can put them out of office if they keep on. And that's an obvious thing. You got somebody continue violating you after you telling them I'm your boss. You have to fire them. So that's the thing that we can use in our arsenal. And my other point is that I see a lot of questions about joining the locals. It's easier said than done. These locals are joined together, and it's the only way that's going to take place is at the ATU level with the delegates. And you got to remember, you got delegates from all over the United States that come together to vote on changes in the Constitution. So you have to get all your Chicago delegates from 308 and 241 to be on one page to make that change and discuss with the other delegates to make that change. Because we're talking about some long history here. It ain't like we're going back and forth. It's a bad time in a lot of members' mind, and they feel like we should join. It's not going to be easy. You got to get, and the members have to just come down there and just be participating in the gallery, so they can be supportive of such a change and really talk to people. So it's like a really giant task. If your presidents don't support this, I don't believe it happens, because your president is the one who kind of guides all this. Because Ken Franklin was trying to really gravitate on that at one point, but he didn't really do nothing. That once he got down there, he started falling in love. So that's what happened. If it, what members are going to be able to go down to the ATU Constitution and merge Local 241 together? We only got one right now that's on the line. Eric Bazir is a delegate. I don't think he's gonna have the will or the power to make that happen. So it's like wishful thinking, but we and I don't have no problem with what people want to do, and we should do it. If that's what you feel like you want to do it.
10 seconds
We should also do what we should also do what we can do within our power.
Okay, let's hit Chris. Go ahead. Let me think.
Just wanted to point out with Constitution and those who have the power to vote on the constitution of our ATU and the ATU officers, that's only 1% of our entire membership that has that authority to do that, the ability to do that. And that if we could get a number of those to support the membership is where we really need things to happen.
And but the thing is,
Can I
delegates
add something?
that voted in are down there blind, and they pretty much ain't gonna come down there with big muscles, and they gonna be at the direction of the president, and they pretty much gonna, you know, just do what the president requests them to do of that local, unless you got a long time delegate. A lot of them just fall in line when they get to be delegates because they want to be officers down the line. So, you know, it's not gonna shake up too much. I never seen it done.
Point of information.
Go with it.
Chair.
Yeah.
Go with the
Nicole.
chair there, Andre.
Oh, I'm not the chair. Oh,
No,
damn. Okay.
No,
My
you're
fault.
not.
Okay, go ahead, Eric.
Andre's out of order.
I know. I didn't
I'm
want
gonna
to
mute
scream
him.
at him. I'm trying. I was gonna tell him you're out of order, but I'm trying to be good. Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, I got 911. I'm calling the police too, just because
Thank
you know I saw him with some brake lines from my car. I don't appreciate that sabotage.
Bring them up on charges.
Yep. So you know, I am an elected delegate, but 241's got a delegate election. I think it's coming up in the spring. Everyone on this call who's a local 241 member, you need to fill out that questionnaire for the candidate forum, and we need to have you in there. We need to have members who care, Justice Coalition or any other organization that care to run for delegates. We need lots of militant pro-union democracy delegates. And everything is difficult, okay? Everything is hard. I have to disagree a little bit with Andre. It's kind of like, I know you're not trying to spoil it, but in a sense, you are also spoiling it a little bit by saying it's hard. Everything is a struggle, everybody. If we don't struggle, we're not going to have any progress. Everyone admires the Hawaiian Islands. They want to go to the tropics and enjoy it. Do you know what that place looked like a couple 100 million years ago? It was volcanic ash and lava. Nothing could live there. So things become beautiful and great after a long struggle, a lot of controversy, and we have to fight. And my time is up.
Okay, thank you, brother.
The tech guy he gonna toot his own horn with the claps. Okay, tech guy.
Andre, you are out of order.
No, that's the timer. That's the timer.
Right. Yes, and Cole, I'm gonna take your last question, but we have to move on. I have some other things we have to talk about. This is great. I love all this. We take Cole, and then we're gonna move on. Okay, Cole, right here.
Clap, right? That was perfect timing.
Right.
But I agree with both Andre and Eric. It's going to be hard, but nothing worth doing is ever easy. So I think if we can get ourselves elected as delegates, anybody that's part of the coalition, we can at least attempt to try and see if we can get something accomplished. And if we can't get that accomplished, trying to get the two locals to merge, then let's expose these motherfuckers. Let's expose them to the rest of our international, because what's been going on here is completely unacceptable. And we have locals all throughout the United States and Canada, and I do believe a lot of these locals do have their shit together, and they would be taken aback by what's going on here in Chicago. So yeah, let's focus on trying to get the locals merged, but let's also go there to expose what's going on.
I think me and Chris was like, we just don't believe that they care. I think they all know what's going on. I think they just don't care. I think that they have a meeting with all the presidents and say, just screw your members as much as they'll let you. What do you think, Chris?
I've been with ATU for 15 years, and what I've witnessed is they will do as much as they can to do as little as they can. And they just have their little training sessions and treat it as a vacation.
Yeah, I agree.
We're talking about the officers though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, now the delegates, they aren't all going to be officers. They're going
Correct.
to be members just like us, or stewards, or executive board members. And some of those people might feel the same way as we do, that this is really messed up. I mean, I'm, the type of person I am, I do believe in good in people. And I do think if you reach out to them, at least some of them will reach out back. So
I agree. Okay, so guys, are you finished, Cole? I don't mean to interrupt you. Were you done?
Yep.
Okay, great. So guys, we're gonna move on. I think that was a good session. We know that our unions claim they use Robert Rules of Order. We know they don't. So we gotta really find a way to get members to the meetings. But we have to move on from this because I have some other things we need to talk about. But first of all, I forgot to do this in the beginning. I need everybody on the call to introduce themselves because we have some other people in the meeting now. So we're gonna start with Chris Day. Introduce yourself. Oh wait, let me start with myself. That'd be right. So let me start with myself. So I'm Nicole Williams. I'm a bus operator at a 103rd Street Garage. I've been with Chicago Transit Authority for 25 years, 23, almost 23 full-time and 2 part-time. So then we're gonna go to Chris.
Hi, my name is Chris Day. I am from Local 757, which is Portland, Oregon, over on the West Coast. I've been with TriMet, which is the transit agency there, for 15 years. You muted yourself, Nicole.
I've been muting people who are not speaking because we're getting a lot of background noise. So if I mute you while you're not speaking, please don't take it personal. We're just trying to keep it so people can hear other people. Let's see, Nicole.
I just
Sorry.
unmuted myself.
Okay.
I was asking you to introduce yourself, tech guy, please.
Oh, I'm Brother Eric Basir, Local 308, Union Steward, ATU delegate. They call me the boogeyman. Scared as hell of me, but I don't care. Screw them. Have a nice day.
Kathy, you're next. Thank you, Brother Eric. Kathy, unmute yourself.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, my name is Kathy Schillecki, and I worked for the CTA for 34 years. I'm a retired switchman, member 308. Oh, and I wanted to say to Chris, now in Portland, Oregon, when that racist attacked some, I think it was Muslim women on the bus, did your local take some kind of labor action around that? Seems like I remember that.
That actually took place on our MAX, which is our light rail, and our union did not say much at that time. It was just all public response.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Okay. Tom, unmute yourself. Tom. Let's see if I can. Brother Tom. Okay, well, let's go. Andre, unmute yourself, please, brother.
Yeah, Andre Thompson, bus operator. All right, tech man. Bus operator out of 103rd. I'm going to my 30th year full-time, couple years part-time, couple years summer student. So we're looking at about over 30 years of bus operation, driving the bus. And that's it.
Thank you, brother.
Oh,
Andre.
I work out of 103rd, my fault.
Okay, thank you. Robert, unmute yourself. Robert.
Hello, I'm Robert Thomas. I'm an operator out of 103rd. I started with CTA in 2016.
Thank you, Robert. Janice. Janice, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Janice Brown. I'm from Forest Park. I'm a CSA, 8.5 years and counting.
Brother Cole.
And I have Willette on the line with me too.
Oh, Willette, go ahead.
I have Willette, so she's going to introduce her. Yes, I'm Willette Lucas, Local 308, 8 years and counting, CSA. I want an applause, Eric. Eric?
Tech guy.
Yes.
Wake it up. Give me my applause. I got 9 years. I almost got 9 years. Applause. Okay, Eric, I got you. You're out of order. Okay.
Okay, Willette, I was gonna call you out of order, but you did. Okay. Thank you, guys. Cole, did we get you, Brother Cole?
Yeah, I'm Cole Goodley. I'm out of Forest Glen. I'm a bus operator. I'm waiting for the applause, Eric.
Cole,
Hey, I know I can get to that. Thank you. But yeah, let's see. I've been here 7 years, 2 years part-time, 5 years full-time. Thank you.
Tom, back to you. Unmute yourself.
Yes, Tom Colangelo. 9 years with CTA, 13 with PACE, Forest Glen Garage.
I want you guys to thank my tech guy because he's actually congratulating you all the time y'all been at this lovely company. So let's get a round of applause for Eric. Okay, so more importantly, welcome all you guys. It's such a pleasure to have all of you guys here. So now what I want to talk about a little bit, and I'm going to put a time on it. We're going to do like 30 minutes on the current TA, because then we got to get to other stuff, because I always get ahead of myself. So we're going to do 30 minutes on the current TA. Would anybody like to start, or would you guys like me to start? Oh, wait, I see Tom has his hand up, so we're going to go with Tom. Tom, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I had that up to introduce myself earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, Janice, unmute yourself.
Hi. The current TA, I think, is, I'm going to say it like this, BS. You're going to give CSAs 40 hours that we can work, which I can work 40 hours now if I wanted to, but you don't want to make me whole. You don't want to give me vacation days. You don't want to give me, you just want to keep me part-time. Yeah, you want to keep me part-time, but you give me 40 hours. How can that, and if I sign it, that's a legal document. So I'm not signing anything like that. Because no.
Sign it, because when they present it, oh, good. I'm glad you brought it up. Chris, maybe you can answer this question for me. When your local gives you a TA, is it signed or is it just blank? Do they sign their signatures?
That's off the top of my tongue, I can't answer that. I don't know for sure.
Okay. Well, the reason why I said that is because I've been doing a little research on past TAs to the current TA we have going on now. And I referenced one way back in 2012, I think. Was it 2012? Yeah, either 2012, but it was one that Keith Hill was on. We were in trusteeship. And we're in trusteeship. And
what they gave us. That's all. Let's see what else he got. They had.
Okay. That they gave us. And the comparison is this. We were in trusteeship and we got a better TA than we got in 2022. That was a pandemic year that we continue to work. And my thoughts about that was this. Keith Hill is selling, this is one of the best contracts you got, a whole 9.25, which is really not a 9.25, but that's another story.
Life-changing.
Life-changing. Thank you, Robert. That's right. Life-changing pay increase, but we can go back to 2000. Oh God, what did I say it was? I want to make sure I'm right when I say it. I think it was 2013. No, it was like 2013, I think.
Yes.
Hang on,
Yeah,
I'm trying
2013
to
when they
bring it
signed
up.
up with
Right, so it was
Javier.
2013, and we were in trusteeship, and we got a better TA than we got now. And what's more important to compare those two is that TA was a full TA. It had signatures on it, it had amendments, it had memorandums. They gave it was 308 and 241, but this TA they gave us, they're trying to pull something over our head to think that we're ignorant to not knowing that it needs to be signed, because it needs to, 2012 to 2015 is the agreement I'm talking about. And we have it on our website. You can load it, download it, and look at it. But in this TA, we had one thing, because our negotiations is with 308. So it wasn't two separate TAs. The language was great. You understood who was in the negotiations. They provided all that to you. But in 2022, they didn't provide any of that. I'm like, am I confused or something? Do you guys know what I'm saying? So that's back when they started, Keith Hill first tried to started getting in, and he was doing the things the right way, but he thought we forgot what a TA is supposed to look like. And you can compare the two. They gave us 5 pages. We were in the pandemic. It was 4 years. The TA from 2012 was 3 years with trusteeship, and we got more pages then than we got in 2022. I found that appalling. Tom, do you have your hand up? Tom, did you want to say something?
Yes, I just trying to scare everybody away from arbitration.
Right.
Now, I know for a fact, Local 1028 just had an arbitration on their contract, and they got $1 a year raise for 4 years during a pandemic, plus what they're calling a roll-up bonus on top of the retro pay. So don't let these people scare you into saying you'll lose anything.
Right, I agree,
If
Rob.
you take a look at the 2003 and the 2007 TAs, they went to arbitration for CTA, and the CTA did not win anything.
Yeah, they were mad that they didn't win it. I remember that, and I read the article. I remember that. Chris, go ahead. I got you, Robert and Andre. I got y'all. Let's just sit for Chris for one moment.
Just quick question. Are you guys required to do binding arbitration, or are you able to strike?
We can strike under my understanding, but
there's nothing. The only unions that have a no strike clause are the IBEW and the other craft locals. We do not have a no strike clause. We do have something called binding or interest arbitration. I'm going to try to bring it up.
Okay,
And then we also have that clause in our contract that says our contract doesn't ever expire. So when it does come up on a date that would look like an expiration date, all that really is a renegotiation date. So we actually, and what should also be put up there, Eric, too, is that letter from CTA to the local.
Tell us how to strike. Tell us how we could strike.
They were telling us how to strike. That's right.
They were telling us how to do it. And while Eric's pulling that up, Chris, while he's pulling that up, I'm going to go to Robert. Robert, let's hear what you have to say, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, Chris?
Yeah, I just want to say that this new TA is like a slap in the face to the members. Keith should be ashamed of himself for even present some garbage like this to us. Out of the 3 government packages since the pandemic started, CTA has gotten $2 billion from the government out of the 3 packages. $2 billion. So out of that $2 billion, I think they can afford to give us more than 5% bonus and more than 1% raise a year. That's all I got to say.
Okay, he's still looking, Chris, so we'll wait till he finds it, and I'm going to go to Andre. Brother Andre, go ahead. Andre, I'm just.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? This is my thing. I'm coming up with a 0 on everything, with the disrespect that members have received, with the information on being involved in the TA, on the 0 of us working 2 years in a pandemic, 0 on as we continue to work in the pandemic, we should be getting something as we still working. A zero on the deaths of our members who died working in this pandemic. So, you know, my thing is, I don't see how any member will even want to accept this. You know, it's a lot of gives for the company to get rid of us, in my opinion, and it's not clear on how they're going to move forward in a lot of stuff that they got in there, because a lot of the stuff shouldn't even be in the contract. It just should be, you know, the company do it, then the union's supposed to fight against it or correct them. You put in a contract, you have no fight. You can't do nothing because you sign off on it.
You see the term of agreement here, you know, and you know, they just use this stuff. The union leadership and the lawyers and the politicians, they just throw this stuff at us. And it's very, I'm telling you, this is ambiguity here, you know, and there's nothing.
How did they even get this in here? Who allowed this to be in here?
But they're using this as telling the members, oh, you have to vote yes, or otherwise it's all over. And you look at this and it's like, not really. And then when you look at the law, the state of Illinois, so we go to Know Your Rights and we look at the Illinois labor law and go to section 17. Oops. Right here, it's explicit. It says right to strike. So then here's where they go and they talk about this interest arbitration and all that stuff. That's what you have to look at. It's not in the contract. Everybody's got to look at the law. They got to know the law. Section 17, read it, try to understand it. The law isn't there to help us strike. It's there to discourage us from striking and hurt us, okay?
Andre, can you mute yourself? I think we got some noise in the background so we can hear. Thank you, Brother Andre. I'm sorry, Eric.
So we have to know, everybody, section 17, it's not much to read. And then it refers to some other subsections about different types of people who can't strike. And that's not us. We're not prison wardens. We're not police.
We should
very
be
different. Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Brother Chris.
I just wanted to point out our union back in 2006 convinced the membership to support legislation, and we are considered like police, and we are not allowed to strike in our local.
Wow.
Yes, and that's so important. Everyone should listen to what Chris just said. Everyone wants to be called essential. You don't want to be called essential. You want to be called frontline, because as soon as we start calling ourselves essential, then boom, that's it. When we have that in the legal, when we have that legally in the law, we're screwed in Illinois. Please stop calling yourself essential. You're frontline.
Along with first responder, we don't want to be called first responder.
Right, first responder essential. Don't do that. That's going to hurt us.
That's exactly right.
Let's go back to Chris, and then Cole, you're going to be next.
Yeah, just to top that off, binding arbitration. The moment we went to binding arbitration, we haven't got a ruling in our favor since then. The judge keeps on running for the best interest of the public. We're going with this.
That's good. That's good to know. Okay, Brother Cole.
What I was going to bring up is the scare tactic that they're using. You know, they're trying to scare us with arbitration, and let's go along with them for a second, and let's agree with them that arbitration is going to be terrible for us. Well, if that's the case, why aren't they still at the negotiation table? If they knew, I mean, we all can see it. You know, we're not the officers. We all can see how terrible this contract is, how terrible the TA is. None of us would even think to leave the table to bring this to the membership. So why did they leave the table and try and offer this garbage?
Well, because they think we stupid, Cole.
That's right, they think, and it's because, let's be honest, they're working with CTA. Let's just cut the crap. They are working with CTA. You know, CTA is trying to convince us to go along with this contract, to not go to arbitration, because CTA knows when an arbitrator sees this garbage, and they especially look at the first page, and they see how that they tried to put our year of progression that's missing into the bonus. When they see that, that arbitrator is going to lay into CTA because he knows that it's underhanded. That's why it feels like such a slap in the face, is because of what they're trying to pull. They're trying to take with one hand and give with another. They're taking from our progression and they're going to give you the bonus, which ain't no bonus at all. It's a progression. That's
Right.
what they're trying, you know.
Well, listen to this, and I'm glad you brought that up, because, you know, Keith Hill did not have the right to negotiate this contract to 4 years. He didn't have the international president's permission. He didn't ever bring it to the members. And that's what I wanted to ask this group. What can we do about that? He did not negotiate in good faith. He's working with the CTA. We can prove that he's working with the CTA, but what can we do? Because I rewrote the international president, and the international president gave him his approval after the TA was negotiated. So Keith Hill did not negotiate, or Eric Dixon for that much, and they didn't know that we knew that. They thought our ignorance, so they were not negotiating in good faith. So what can be done about that?
Well, Nicole, we saw that Costa's got to have the GEB to sign off on this.
Right. So I'm saying, since we know the procedures because we researched it,
yes,
we know the procedure, but with the corruption, what can we do? Can we file a complaint with the U.S. Department of Labor or the Illinois Labor Relations Board, bring them up on charge?
We honestly could reach out to the GEB ourselves.
Oh, we're going to do that. But what else can we
do?
do?
The international vice presidents and say, what the hell's going on? Why is Costa giving unilateral authority to
after
the
fact.
local after the fact? Even where did you all take a vote on this?
Right. Let's see what Chris has to say, Cole. Maybe he has some information for you.
Well, I got a question because the contract itself is the effective date of 2020 to 2023. So actually it's 3 years. So if you go technical, you can say that. But the question I have, because we have some issues where the contract is a set period of time, here to here, but the contract references dates outside of those timelines. How do we address that?
Well, I think where we're going from our ATU Constitution, Section 34, and it says that in order for a local union to extend a contract, they have to get the permission of the international president. So that's the only information. When we requested that information, that's the only information we gave our president. So he reacted on that, and he went and got Costa approval after our TA was negotiated. But we never gave him all the information, because we know per our Constitution, Section 34 says that, yes, a local union has to get approval from the international president to extend a contract from 3 years to more. But we didn't include that we know that the international president has to get the approval of the GEB. So we knew what we were doing, so we got them all caught up. But what can we do to file these charges, to bring them up on charges for not doing a fair negotiation on behalf of the members? Because that tells me, and I know about you guys, that our president was working with the CTA against us because he negotiated a TA without our permission, without Costa's permission, and we can show proof of that because it came after the TA was negotiated.
But my question is, the term of this contract is 2020 to 2023.
So,
and it's 4 years, Chris.
Right. So our Constitution, our TA ended 2019. So they extended it from 2019 to 2023.
Yes. I totally understand that. And so that year, you're technically saying they extended it, but I'm just saying technical terms, they could come out. No, this agreement is only for a 3-year period, January 1st of 2020 to December 31st, 2023. You know,
but that wouldn't be the extent when our TA was over, because our contract expired in 2019.
Oh, we've had contracts expire, and it's taken us 2.5 years to do the agreement. So as soon as we approve it, we're already in negotiations for the next one.
Well, that's how we're about to be, going on to 4 years. And we scared our president because in the meeting, we had a joint meeting with our other local 308. and I asked for a full copy of the TA. They told me it was the full copy of the TA, and I said, well, how is this possible? Because a TA is merely things that are going to change in the contract. So my position was, who gave you permission to extend this contract 4 years? The president was like, I don't need permission. I said, of course you do, because according to our Constitution, Section 34 says that you need the international president's permission. Now, he was took off guard when I said that. He didn't think that I should know that information. So then what he did was he went and sought Costa's approval, and Costa did not give his approval to the 27th, no, to February 1st, was after the TA was signed. You see what I'm saying? So it's 4 years, and within rights that they violated our Constitution, and we can prove that. So I'm trying to see what should be our next step. Well, we've been coming up with things, the coalition been coming up with things to see, and we know our next move should contact the GEB.
Well, as per our Constitution, preferring the charges is technically the next step that you take.
So you think we should bring them up on charges?
Well, that's how our union demographics is created, that if a member or an officer is having to address a violation of Constitution or bylaw, the first step is to approach it with addressing it with being in writing, which is the preferring of charges process.
Well, I think
that part is the local officer, the local president gets to choose who investigates it.
I know. See, that's what we downfall at. But I think that at some point we should try to do it in the right steps so they can't say that we're wrong. So that's good to know. And I think I'm going to try that out. What do you, Tom? I think you had your hand up next. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, about the arbitration process. He fails to leave out that the arbitrator is more than likely going to make them go to a mediation fact-finding sessions before he rules on the case.
Yeah, he always leaves that out, Tom. He says, no, you don't get it, you don't have to go to mediation. We asked him that, and he said, no, there's no mediation. We had the attorney from 308 at the joint meeting, and she attempted to answer the question. And so when she gave her answer, I asked the young lady, they said, well, show it to me in writing. They said they'll give it to us, but we haven't got it yet. So, they always try to leave out everything. It's always, oh, we'll get it to you, but we never get it to you. So we know the games that they play. Cole, Tom, you're not finished? Go, Cole, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I spoke to a financial secretary from a different local, and they told me fact-finding mediation must be done before you go to arbitration. That way the arbitrator knows what the other regions are making.
Yeah, we know that. I mean, you and I, we know that. I think everybody on this call will know that.
We can get it into writing. Can we show people that that's what'll happen next?
I think we can. I think we don't even need their approval for that. I think we can. We can go to any arbitration that took place, and I think we can go to the Illinois Labor Relations, and we can look at an arbitration and see what happened, because there's a process that should be followed. It's nothing special about
the law is right here. I put it on screen.
Right.
Can I say
That's the law.
The arbitrators don't know the industry standards, so they go by what the other sister locals and companies are going by in the area.
Well, that means they will go by the teachers union, correct?
No, they will more than likely go by Pace, Milwaukee, the different transit industries.
Different transit.
In our region too, right? And we would be stuck by our region.
Well, that ain't good for us.
Keep in mind, everybody, they do have a no strike clause in the CTU contract. I think it's like Article 45 or 43 or something. I read it. I'll try to bring it up. But these types of things, we got to understand, it is our power as workers, what we decide democratically.
Yeah.
Righteous people do not obey unrighteous laws and rules. And we have a righteous fight before us. And they're going to make all kinds of rules and laws and throw everything at us. But if we, as the members, decide to democratically organize and fight then we understand we're going to take some losses. We're going to take a lot of losses, but we're going to take some wins too. We have a better chance of winning when we fight. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Who is I'm sorry, just 1 second. Who is 773-444-473? Wait, 773-344.
I think that's, yeah, I got the number.
You got it in there? Okay, just want to make sure we have everybody.
I'll rename it.
Okay, Cole, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring up the term of this TA is, yeah, it is from 2020, the beginning of 2020 to the end of 2023. And it is set up for 4 years. Because you got all of 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. So the term of this contract is 4 years. Yeah, and with the striking, I agree with Eric. It might be illegal. You know, they might try and stop us. They might send the cops out there or whatever. But the cops, their union, they ain't stopping shit. You know, they understand. They get it. They got to deal with a much larger bureaucracy than we do, because they got to deal with CPD and the city.
Well, a point of information.
Yeah.
Police have been sent to enforce our employer and the union tyrants' will on us as workers. So I wouldn't count on the police. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I really would be very cautious, because even at that joint meeting, they had cops there.
Yes, that's right. But even with your interactions with the police, because I saw it on the video, it seemed like they were kind of lackadaisical about it. They're like, "Come on, it didn't seem like, I know they had to do their job, but I mean, do you think they didn't seem to be rough with you, or would that be your assessment as well, Eric?"
Yeah, but just keep in mind they have a job to do. Their job is to protect property.
That's correct. That's exactly right. Yes.
Did you have anything else, Cole?
Yes, of course I did, but I forgot it, but I'll think of it.
Okay, Brother Andre.
Okay, my thing is, we go to arbitration because two sides cannot agree. Am I right?
Right.
In other words, CTA, the union and CTA can't agree. But the problem I'm having is the union officials and CTA is in agreement. So when they go to arbitration, what are they fighting over? I mean, is the union gonna come back to the members and say, okay, you voted it down, so now what do you guys want? They locked us out the whole process. So do they go in another back room and say, let's come up with another agreement? I mean, because they how do they present something to an arbitrator that both sides are fighting like hell to make sure that we accept? So that's the problem I'm looking at. In my mind, you got CTA and the union officials put this contract together without the membership. The membership voted down because they feel a certain way, or they may have a certain amount of knowledge that this is sellout. So they voted down that, it goes to arbitration, but then you right back at the square run with the same thing with the union officials and the CTA in agreement. So they just, what do they go? I mean, what happens? Are they gonna come to the membership? I don't think so. So they're gonna sit back down in agreement. You know, they're giving the arbitrator something they agree on. How he supposed to rule? I mean, he gonna ask us what y'all want? That's I'm curious on that thought process.
You're right, Andre. That's a good point. Let's see what Chris has to say. Chris, go ahead.
Well, if the membership is not voting it, then the union officers aren't truly supporting their members in the right sense, is what I got to say.
Well, we know that.
So,
right.
So yeah, I mean,
how's it gonna work for you? Do you get paid every week, every 2 weeks?
Andre?
Okay, just
Mute yourself, Brother Andre. Mute yourself.
I just want to know so you can figure out what you.
Brother Andre, you're out of order. Mute yourself. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just pointing out, it's like a union officer's job is to represent the members' will, not the officers' will. So if the members are not approving this, the officers are required to figure out what is needed for the members to approve it and stuff, not convince the members to follow through with their choice.
Chris, our union think we have such a lavish lifestyle. They do not do anything on the best interest of us.
We're in the same boat.
I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Kathy, go ahead, Kathy.
Thanks. I just wanted to say, I think Andre's point is so good and kind of powerful, because that is what's going to happen. The union is in the back pocket of the city and the CTA, and they're not going to fight for us. They got their marching orders from John Costa, or whatever his name is, and the mayor, and we're going to get screwed. Eventually, people are going to strike. That's really the only way we have half a chance. But it's just like the union and the company against the workers. And so I think it would be better. We'd have a better chance in arbitration, depending, maybe a little bit on the arbitrator. I don't know. It's just amazing. Does the arbitrator know that the city and the union are working against the workers? I would vote yes. They do know that. They ain't stupid. Because you could see it. Why would the union agree to this TA? How could they fucking agree to it? So it's just, I don't know what's going to happen. I hope people vote it down. But and one more thing, then I'm going to stop. I would not be surprised if the union officials have already signed off on this TA. I would not be surprised. And then what?
I agree, Kathy, because they're pushing it really hard. If you look at history with past TA, the union has never pushed so hard for a TA like they're doing for this one. So I believe they have too. Let's go to
Nicole, you got about 20 seconds left on this segment. Did you want me to extend it?
Yeah, because I thought we were going to go to we was going to go to 3:30, right? So I know what you're saying.
No, but you said you only wanted a certain amount of time to talk
Give
about the
me
TA.
5
Do you
more
want to?
minutes. Yeah,
You want to extend it
for 5 more minutes, Eric? Because I guess we got really on just 5 more. Thank you. Yeah, because I'm glad you put me on clock. Brother Tom.
Yeah, you got to remember, we were left out of this whole process the whole time. No union meetings, nothing. So I mean, we have to think what we're going to do.
Yeah. Andre, do you have your hand up? Brother Andre. Maybe that. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I guess I had my hand up. I don't know, but I'll say something. At the end of the day, maybe we should think as memberships, taking moves, because the membership ain't gonna strike right away, or it may take a little frustrations to get them there. But maybe we can convince them to rally where the arbitrator's arbitrating at, because he's gonna be at some office or someplace, wherever he at. Maybe we should make our feelings be known as membership, both sides. We need to find out what's going on with the arbitrator. We can call him. We need to harass him, and get our side in. Because once again, the union and the CTA are together, and we just left out in the cold. What leverage do we have to get anything, and if anything, to even get back in on our side? We a bunch of workers going to work, and what should we do? Because we really can't accept this as members. It's just that simple. So we should be trying to figure out what we're going to do to get our words in, to get our voices heard.
That's a great point, Andre. Cole, we're gonna have you take the last question, and then we're gonna move on. Okay. Anybody? Go ahead, Cole.
Yes, that's right. They're gonna the officers gave us this crap, and our the argument that we've been hearing up at our garage is, well, so what? They gave us this crap. We're gonna let them go back and deal with the arbitrator. They can't, they're the ones that gave us this. So I think that's right. What I would say is, I think the solution to that is we need to form at the next mass membership meeting, and if this TA does get put down, we need to form an oversight committee of our collective bargaining unit to make sure that they have the, to make sure that they have our issues front and center, not the will of the officers, but as Chris was saying, the will of the members. And the committee needs to be the go-between between the membership and the collective bargaining unit, because obviously they ain't doing it. They let us go 2 years without any sort of knowledge because they decided to sign gag orders. Okay, so I think that's the solution, is we form a committee that oversees what's going on with the contract talks.
Gag orders can't be against the membership, though.
I'm sorry.
Okay, is that all you had, Cole?
No, I want to hear what Andre said. I missed it.
Okay, Andre, what did you say?
Gag orders cannot be against the membership. You got to remember, it's our, you said they signed gag orders, and they signed gag orders to not negotiate this through the media, but that don't have nothing to do with the membership. This, once again, this is our contract. They cannot sign a gag order against our contract.
If that's true, then they've decided to not tell us anything. They've
There you
decided
go.
to keep
They
us
decided.
dark. They decided to do that.
Thank you.
So,
Okay, anybody, we have 1 minute left for this TA. Anybody else on the call want to ask a question or a concern? Andre, let's take Janice. Janice, go ahead.
This is Willette, Nicole.
Oh, hey, Willette, go ahead.
Hey, sweetie, how are you? Okay, just a few things. One thing is, I definitely agree with meeting wherever the arbitrators are meeting, and we have a voice. That's the only thing that will probably sway them, because I also agree with the fact, how can you meet with somebody and you both have agreed upon the same thing and you want to go back and take it to the table? That's nonsense. So the thing is to go where we can have our voices heard. And it's bad because like now the voting for this TA is on Wednesday. And, you know, our meeting is on that, you know, the Tuesday prior. And it's really, it hurts a lot of people because so many people are so confused. They're confused with the bonus. They're confused with the hazard pay. They're confused with the 40 hours. But I feel
that means
I feel
our
that
time
what
is
should
up. So
happen.
go ahead and just finish up. It's okay.
Let's go ahead and finish. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
You can finish up.
Okay, I feel that you made me lose my train of thought, tech guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm through. I'm through.
Okay. Thank you, Willette, for your question. And thank you, Eric, for keeping this clock going. It's a great thing to be on the timer. Chris, just to answer your question, I don't think it's anything wrong with us controlling our own, paying our dues, but that's where they have their power because we allow them to take it out of our checks.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
The reason I wanted to point that out is look at your union application.
Excuse me, Chris, 1 second. Janice, can you mute your phone? We're getting a lot of chatter in the back.
The reason I point that out is after the Janice ruling passed, unions quickly changed the union membership application, and they want the money to automatically come out because that way they require you to obligate for a year, and then they put a small window to cancel that obligation and it automatically renews. So if you miss that window, if you sign that contract and you miss that window, you are obligated to pay union dues whether they represent you or not. And they could constantly take that out of your check and you have to fight to get that broken. If you're paying on your own, then you could just decide at the end of the month, let's hold up on union dues until this is addressed.
That sounds good.
That's why I wanted to point out, because in Oregon, we have a law that says unions cannot require payroll deductions as a condition of membership.
Eric, can you elaborate? Because we were just talking about that because some people were under the assumption that if you stop paying union dues, which we have the right to stop paying union dues, and they still, our union still have to represent us, whether we pay or not. But can you give me a little information on that?
Right, so it's called duty of fair representation. And this is for all unions. And whether you pay dues or not, you can just look it up. You have to be represented. Okay, you're not gonna be able to vote in the meetings and the elections, but you cannot be discriminated. You have to be treated just like someone who pays their dues.
Yes, I understand that, but I'm not saying opt out. There's people that talk about opt out, and instead of opting out, what about thinking of just stopping automatic dues deduction and just paying it yourself like you do any other bill from your home? Don't have them deal with your employer. You deal with your union direct. Don't have them bypass you and go through your employer.
Right, we had something on the table that, you got it, Eric? You want to respond?
That's check off. You're talking about dues check off.
That's called check off, yep.
Yeah, so that's in the beginning of the contract. And I don't know anyone that does that. Doesn't mean you can't. So here it is. They could very well say that you're no longer in good standing if you're not complying with checkoff. I know of a union board member who was sick of the way the corruption was going on, and he said, well, I'm just going to pay my dues in advance. And somehow they finagled to figure out that, oh, you didn't pay your dues, so we got to remove you now, according to the bylaws.
Well,
tricky.
My point is, if you get a large group that has that freedom to pay their dues or not and stuff, and an issue like this arrives, and a large enough group says, you know what, we are going to hold our dues in this account until this is addressed, and then we will forward it to you. Because our Constitution allows us basically 2 months, if I recall it, about 2 months in arrears before anything really affects us.
So just so you know, there are workers in 241 and some in 308 that are actually getting ready to do just that. If this TA goes through, we did talk about it at the Justice Coalition. We did post something about it. So it's people are working on it, Chris.
I recommend before anyone takes any action to get a copy of their original application for union membership and check the language on that to make sure they're able to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, Janice, we're gonna take Janice concern or question, and then you have to move on because I'm going past my time limit. Okay, Janice, unmute yourself. Janice.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nicole. This past June, I tried to get out of the union, and Deborah Lane Cozy prevented me from getting out. I sent the letter. They claim they didn't receive it. I sent it. I faxed it. The clerk sent it. They didn't get it. They said the window. I missed the window. Now I called them at the beginning of June. It was like June the 25th, 26th, whatever it was. But nope. I was not permitted to get out of the union. So
what you mean you're not permitted? Because you can just call down the CTA and request a letter and send it back to payroll to stop. So I'm a little
bit. Well, at the time, again, payroll, if they're working out of their homes, people are not doing their jobs down at 5, 6, 7 like they should be. Okay, so stuff was getting lost. I even had, when I got assaulted, the lawyer never received the information. He never attended the court appearance. So how they get away with stuff, they do. But I didn't get out of the union last year. I'm gonna tell you that.
Well, let me say this, Janice. I'm glad you didn't get out the union because you're here today and you're a voting member. So I'm glad you didn't. But there are ways that you can force CTA to do their job. And one of the things, I'm I'm proud to say is email is a very powerful tool that creates a record. And if you email them, more than likely, as we check our emails, they check theirs. And if they don't respond, then that's a violation with the, you know, them not doing their job. So, you know, Deborah Cozy Lane, you know, I don't know who she thinks she is.
Point of information.
Oh, go
on that.
right ahead, Eric.
Okay, Jan. So there is a coworker. He wanted that COPE deduction stopped. You know, that $5. So she would not acknowledge him. So I had him repeated emails. So he did like 2 emails to her and CC'd other people in the union leadership. And finally we got it. So like Nicole was saying, the email is key. You could CC, you know, as a steward, you could CC me as well, you know, and because when they see my name there, they see ericbasir.308@gmail.com. They're like, oh God, no.
Not him. Not him.
So yeah. So you know, you can put me in there and you can put the president, the union president in there. You know, just reach out to me later and I'll send you all those addresses.
Okay. Okay, but if this TA gets passed, I'm out of this union. I am out. I'm gone. Tulu. Bye. I'm through.
Okay, guys, we're gonna take Chris, and that's gonna be the last question or concern we're gonna address on this topic because I'm a little bit over my time, and y'all know I'll go over. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
I just want to say for those that are worried and they want to opt out, all that's doing is taking away your voice and then leaving you in the background. There's got to be other options than opting out, because the moment you opt out, you no longer have a say about your contract. You no longer have a say about the union. So don't just jump out to opt out. Think of other options.
Well, Chris, I do it.
I've been part-time 8.5 years. It's time to go. Bye. It'd be different if I was full-time, but I'm part-time, 8.5 years. Bye. I'm through.
Okay. Well, I will say this. I see both stands. I wouldn't opt out the union. I like my voice and I like my right to vote, but you know, sometimes you have to let them know if they're not going to do right by you, then you're going to take your money, because if they lose so many members, they'll do something about all the problems we got going on. Now, I don't recommend opting out of the union neither, but I can understand Janice's frustrations because we're really at the ends with them. But I wouldn't. I'm glad she's staying right now, Chris. I'm glad she didn't opt out, and we're here today, and she's a member in good standing as of now. But if they, you know, make her mad, she's going to leave. So hopefully we don't get to that point.
Yeah, I'm just saying individuals straggling and doing that, it's not going to make an impact on the union. That's why I'm saying find other options, work together, and as a group.
Yeah.
Stronger.
We have other people who wants to opt out as well. So maybe it will take an impact. But yeah, it is a good thing to stay in, but I understand Janice's frustrations. Okay, let's go back to the agenda. I think we need to talk about the next meeting, host and time. Who would like to volunteer to host the next meeting? Cricket time. Nobody. Well,
come on. All right, everybody. This is your tech support. This is your tech support. I'm gonna get on all of y'all. Okay, it can't be one person out there all the time doing all this stuff. This is not the Eric Basir and Nicole Williams fan club, and we do everything. You know, we sacrifice a lot.
Eric, yeah, I got something else for you.
So y'all need to pitch in.
Since no one wants to volunteer, I'm gonna nominate somebody, and this person may be not good, but I think there'll be a next fill-in, a Sunday fill-in great. So I'm gonna nominate Cole Gitley to host the next meeting. We all like to take a vote on that?
Yeah, I second that.
Okay, so the motion has been seconded. So let's take a vote. All in favor, say yay.
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 All against, say nay.
Nay.
The yays have it. Cole Gitley will be hosting our next meeting.
All right, yes, I'll do it.
Cole, would you like to give us a date?
So 2 weeks from now, I suppose.
Okay, what date would that be?
Let me look at the calendar. Calendar. 2 weeks from today. It'll be the 20th.
Okay. And are we keeping the regular time?
Yeah, 1:30.
1:30.
All right, it's set.
Okay, the meeting is set. Now, where are we at here? I think we're probably at the, oh, let me get my glasses. That's what they're for. Oh, we got to the random, we did the random member opposition to the TA. Oh, no, well, we want everybody to vote no on the contract. We don't think that it's a good thing. Please attend the local 308 membership meeting on February 8th. It's important, guys. Bring a friend. They're gonna try to update you on anything that they can do to get everybody to vote yes to pass that contract. So bring a friend and state your opinion.
And make motions for action.
Yeah.
If you want action, you want accountability, you have to motion for it. Don't let these tyrants, don't let Boss Dixon improperly adjourn the meeting or call you out of order. You have Robert's rules. Check out the video and the link that Nicole has in here in the agenda.
Also, if the meeting just by chance gets out of order and they adjourn it, video it, because after that, you can video when they start getting disrupted. So we'll have some type of evidence against them. We missed it at the 241 meeting, but maybe you guys, if they do that, maybe you can get a little video off your phone. And so the next hour of power, we have some good information on that. Could you pull it up for me, Eric? Oh. So
hang on, it's coming. Okay. Hang on. I had it up here. Okay, just give me a second. I'll click again. Results.
Okay, so we got some great responses. So I think we got if you prefer another location, enter it in so we can add it, please. Midway Orange line is where we get the most votes at right now. So that sounds like good. 54th Cermak Pink Line, we got 1%. Forest Park, we got 1%. Blue Line Turn 103rd Garage, we got 1%. Yeah. So we're doing pretty good on this poll. City Hall, 1%, but ooh, is that 33%? And Midway Orange Line, that's a great number. 33, y'all know what that number is, right? Okay,
well, lots of choices. We got garages, we got everything on here.
Yeah,
so
we got a little bit of everything on there, but
everyone needs to participate, please, and vote once.
It seems
please.
like vote one, and it seems like 33%. That's a good number, especially for us. So everybody vote on that, so we can get that. We should have been having an hour of power on contract day, but I guess it's a little bit too late for that. Okay, bowling party progress. Cole, you want to give us the progress on that right quick?
Yeah. And we had it on the 29th. It was a success. I believe we had about 11 people show up, which is a great first step. It was the first party we ever threw. The total cost came out to around $110 for the party. Donations were around $70, which was fantastic, and I thank all of you for the donations. I would like to throw another party in a month. I would like to throw a party every month until we decide to stop. Because I think what this allows is it gives a chance to meet people and talk to people, not necessarily about CTA stuff or union stuff. It gives us a chance to talk and establish relationships with each other. But we also can allow for, talking about CTA and 241, 241, 308 stuff. So yeah, we'll try and throw one soon.
Okay, that sounds good. And Cole, you're hosting the next meeting, so I guess you can gather some information and put some dates out there. Yeah. If you need me to help you, I'm always here.
Okay.
Robert, we have you on the line. Would you like to anything about the progress of the RHCT lawsuit progress?
You mean Steve?
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. He's not. Oh, Steve. Hey, Steve, would you like to give us an update on that? Maybe not. Okay, if Steve comes back on, we'll go. So right now we have a few minutes left. So let's do final discussion, free and open. Anything anybody wants to say, talk about, this is our time. Anything, anybody? My little time. Eric is telling me my time is up, but we can take just a few minutes if anybody has anything. So we have nothing?
Let's make next union meeting, y'all.
Oh, definitely, let's make the next union meeting. And since no one has any discussions, I'd like to thank everybody for attending this meeting today. It was very successful. We got a lot of input about things, especially Robert Rules of Order. I think we got that covered pretty good. And if not, we can always reflect back to Chicago Justice Coalition. We have everything on that website. You know, we got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on all of those. So we got lots of information. So if you need anything, look on there. We got it. We got everything you need there. So with that being said, I have a whole minute to go. I did well today. I am proud of myself on that time. I think it was that little clock that was amazing for me today. And if anybody doesn't have anything else, thank you guys. Oh, and a big thank you to Eric for all the tech support he gives me.
Thank you
Anybody?
guys for allowing me.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Have a great day.